Please tell us a bit about yourself. Who are you as a professional, and what do you bring to the workplace as an employee?
I believe I bring a very good team attitude to the workplace. My background in team sports during college allowed me to thrive and rely on my instincts in order to support the team. Um, I played college football at Sam Houston, and anytime the defense would shift or make some adjustment, we'd have to think on our feet and make the most of it. And having to rely on my instincts for so long playing that sport, it's transitioned into my career, and I'm truly blessed to have that opportunity. And I think that's what I bring to the workplace. Just a team player. I'm not going to shy away from a difficult problem, and I have the patience to sit there and dissect the problem into smaller parts to figure out where what's going wrong. And I thrive in both structured and fast-paced environments, and I'm willing to put in the work until things get done right. I bring consistency, reliability, the ability to adapt quickly while still focusing on a long-term goal. And I aim to be a leader in that. I try to help my teammates and my peers and coworkers to think like that as well. Not in any sort of like condescending way. I just think that when when you have the right team, each team member rubs off on each other, and when y'all are all clicking and y'all are all cohesive, then sky's the limit to what you can accomplish.
Tell me about a time when you excelled and how your skills or attributes help you succeed.
A time where I excelled and where my skills and attributes helped me succeed. I just think back to my database management systems class. We had a group project that stretched the entire semester, and it was a huge project. We needed to build a database and a front end to support that database. And our, I guess our task was to we came up with the idea of creating like a local gym database where you can see how many people go to certain gyms, what the busiest hours are, what the rates are, what kind of trainers they have, what their skill set is, what their specialty is, and it was a lot. And unfortunately, my group didn't really help out or participate too much. But thankfully, I have a pretty solid background in back end and front end development, and so I kind of took the lead, and I spent most of the semester making it work and getting a presentable database to show the rest of the class because we needed to present. And when presentation day came, my entire group walked up there, and I was the only one to present on it because I was the only one who knew anything about it. I created the whole thing myself, and I'm not sure what my peers got as a grade, but I didn't try to be selfish. I wanted them to still feel like they took part in some way, whether they knew what was going on or not. But yeah, my background in front and back end development really helped me excel and succeed in that class. And if it wasn't for that, I'd probably still be taking the class. So yeah.
Give me an example of a personal weakness or challenge that causes issues for you at work. How do you manage or address it?
I would say that a challenge or personal weakness that comes up at work would be that sometimes I overthink the problem and make it more difficult than it needs to be. Um, I love challenges, and sometimes I challenge myself and don't realize that I'm already I've already answered what needs to be answered, or I've fixed whatever's broken. And I guess that comes with the sense of purpose. And once it's correct and it's right, um, I don't feel like I have purpose in that project anymore. And another challenge is that I'll sit there and work on the same thing until the sun comes up. I'll stay up all night making sure that something is correct, and it's kind of made me feel burnt out at times. And to address that, I try to set schedule breaks and little little windows where I get up and walk around, go work out, um, go get gas, something to get out of the house, something to be around people. And sometimes you find your best ideas that way, and I believe that it's abstract and it's kind of divine, but it's a very good way for me to um, have confidence in myself. And when I come back, I have this rejuvenated feeling, and I'm just ready to work on it again. And I found that that's very successful. Not only do I work better and more efficiently after those breaks, but it makes me feel like I have purpose elsewhere, and I think that's crucial for employees to not just feel like they're stuck um, in where they're at, even if it's like a lunch break or it's a team meeting, anything to kind of pull you out of your flow for a little bit, I think is crucial. And I've been managing that and addressing it as I see fit, and so far it's worked out. So.
Give an example of when you had to work with someone who was difficult to get along with. How was this person difficult? How did you handle it? And how did the relationship progress?
Somebody that I had to work with that was kind of difficult to get along with. I think back to when I worked at HEB during my underclassmen years at Sam Houston. I had a manager who was very set in their ways, and they were resistant to like trying new things and new approaches. And I understood that. The policies at HEB are super strict and kind of abstract in their approach to finding a solution. But instead of pushing back to him and trying to insert my answer, I respected his authority and I backed down, and I really tried to listen to his perspective, because he didn't just get that job. He's been working there for a while. He knows how things work, and I was only there for 2 years. So kind of trusting his leadership and inputting saying what I need to say in a way that's not condescending or defies his authority in any way. I would just offer I would say words of wisdom, but that's kind of conceited. I would just offer small little changes that didn't feel overwhelming, but kind of brought things to his attention. And I think it was valuable because I wasn't in a management position, but I was outspoken. So if other people had issues and they were afraid to talk to leadership, they would bring their issues to me. And I kind of found this nice little middle ground where I was helping those who are my coworkers, and we all have the same position. I was helping bridge the gap between their ideas and the management's ideas, and it was pretty cool. It kind of helped me. I wasn't a manager or an assistant manager, but I was basically doing what assistant managers do, just without the title. I was running the walkies. I was directing customers where they needed to go. I was solving customer disputes, and it was kind of cool. It gave me the opportunity to almost be a manager, but without the, like I said, without the title and without the responsibility, which allowed me to thrive. I didn't feel like if I made a mistake, well, I'm not a manager, so I can make this mistake early, and if I learn from it, I can use that going forward if I ever become a manager. So, yeah, I won't say his name, but he was a really cool guy, and he lives out in Austin now, and he plays guitar, and I'm a fellow guitar player, so we bonded over that too, and that kind of helped speed things along. But yeah.
What's one thing you want me to remember about you or take away from this interview?
Something that I want you to remember about me is that, one, I'm a team player, and I don't want my teammates to be overshadowed in any way. I think what makes a company great is the people that it employs. And I think that when you employ people that want to see their teammates succeed and want to see the people around them succeed just as much as they want to succeed themselves, again, sky's the limit. You have a company full of managers, and when everybody's thinking like a leader, then leadership is subsidiary to the problem. Like you don't need to worry about leadership, because in every single domain, the leadership is thriving. You have people keeping others in check. You have everybody following their instructions and their rules, and you have people that just want to do the best they can because they have somebody to their right and somebody to their left doing the best they can too. And I believe that I'm that sort of team player, and I would like you to remember that. Also, I think that, again, I don't give up easily. I'm stubborn, and when I try to put myself out there or take on a new task or learn something new, once I start it, I need to see it through, and I need to finish it. And it can get a little unhealthy, like I mentioned previously, but taking those little breaks, managing yourself, and being self-aware, throughout the entire work day or work week. I think that's crucial, and I think that when you have enough people that think like that, then y'all are just one cohesive unit, and nothing can stop y'all. So yeah, I appreciate this opportunity, and I look forward to speaking again.